Welcome to this edition of Miles Ahead, and you join us here in a car park in Silverstone to look at this, the Caterham 620S. So the 620S and 620R are the top of the Caterham range. So the 620R is a full-on lunatic version, does 0 to 60 in a shade under 3 seconds. This has a few more creature comforts. It does 0 to 60 in a positively pedestrian 3.44 seconds. Yeah, it's not slow, but just look at it. I mean, this Lamborghini purple paint is absolutely fantastic. So that is an optional extra, comes in at about £1,000. It just really suits the profile of this car. I've had so many comments about this. People love Caterhams, and you can see why. There's a lot to like about this. They stand out in such a positive way. So we reviewed the 310R on the channel a few months ago. I'll pop a link to that in the description below. And you know, this is noticeably a step on from that. This is more enjoyable. It's also more terrifying, but it's a fantastic machine. So as we come around the sides, this is on 15-inch wheels rather than 13-inch wheels. So the R-Spec comes with the 13-inch wheels. As you can see, you've got the exhaust flowing all the way down the side here. So another difference between this and the 310, the exhaust is right beside you here, so it's really, really noisy. But on this, it flows all the way around the back and comes out there, so it's a little bit quieter. Obviously, to get to Silverstone, we've driven this up on the motorway, and it was surprisingly comfortable. Actually, it was all right, but you know, it wasn't a Bentley level of comfort, but it was much better than we expected. So, as you come around, you know, usual stuff. You put your roof in the boot and all that business. You can get a couple of coats in there as well. But yeah, fantastic looking car. Let's have a quick look on the inside. Right, let's have a look inside. I will go through the undignified process of getting in here. I'm not going to put myself in the harness. It's 2 minutes of your life you'll never get back watching me do that. So, same as ever, to get in, pull the door shut, a couple of clips over here, and we are in. So, this car features the carbon bucket seats, which are heated. It's got heated seats in a Caterham, which is a great idea. It was very handy for the motorway drive up here when it was a little chilly. So as usual, got a petrol gauge, got a temperature gauge, got your oil pressure gauge, revs, speeds down here and all that sort of stuff, and then you've got your usual controls up here from the horn, your flash people down here, and you've got your indicators there, which of course aren't self-cancelling because that would be far too convenient. Anyway, I'll start her up, pull that round to there, wait for everything to settle. So yeah, you get a nice burble through here. It's really comfortable in here. I mean, the only complaint really is the dash is a bit close to the gear stick. So when you're going for the changes, you do catch your knuckles from time to time on there when you're going first, third and fifth gears up there. That could do with being just a little bit high, but it might be that I've just got big hands, I don't know. But other than that, you know, you've got heaters and all that, so that's got two fan speed setting, and that's all controlled down here with the plunger. And as well, I'll just turn that off again to quieten it down. There's a 12-volt battery charger down here, so you can charge your phone as you go along, and they've even provided a little bit of netting in here so that you can carry stuff along with you. I don't know, like if you need a cap or a pair of sunglasses, that sort of thing, you can put them in there as well. I mean, it's just, you know what you're getting with this sort of thing. I mean, it is, you know, it's incredibly basic. It is what it is, and you know straight away if this sort of car's a bit of you or not. Oh yeah, one other thing, you can take the steering wheel on this, so pretty handy anti-theft device. Difficult to steal a car that doesn't have a steering wheel. We can slot that back on, make sure it's in before we set off. But set off we shall do. Let's see what it's like out on the road. So you'll notice a quick change of a tyre because we're out in the open, but we'll start with the engine though. Along this car, it has got savage acceleration, and it is quite some. Sorry, there's someone crossing the road with a horse. Not taken too kindly to that, but we'll crack on again. It's just, it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and it gets louder and louder and faster, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It really is. It's yeah, you can see the appeal in these. If you're looking for an open top, pure driving experience, you just wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, my one complaint with the 310R was that it was a bit slow. that complaint's absolutely out the window in this. It took a little bit getting used to actually. At first it was almost too powerful. I was leaving the car park at Caterham Gatwick and just poked it in second gear and the back end went round a little bit, and I'm quite sure they were wondering who on earth they were lending their car out to. But you know, once you get used to it, like the throttle is a bit sticky and sometimes you try and modulate it and then you find yourself accelerating quite rapidly, so that takes a bit of getting used to as well. But I mean, otherwise the gearbox is nice and smooth. It just progresses so well. It really is a joy to drive. I mean, the conditions have got to be right, and I think that's one of the things actually when you're doing this, when you're reviewing it. I've had the car Thursday to Tuesday. You put yourself under a little bit of pressure to get out and drive it all the time, whereas I think if you owned one of these, you'd know when the right time is. You go, okay, right, today is a 620S day and I'm taking this car out, and you'd nail it every time. You would absolutely love it. It is absolutely superb. And the other thing to note about this, so it's not obviously not the R, it's the S. It is quite livable in everyday conditions. So we're just going over some speed bumps now, and it handles them really well actually. And we've been out on the motorway, obviously getting up to Silverstone, and actually driving along at motorway speeds when you're doing 70 miles an hour, it's quite calm in here. You can actually have a conversation, you can hear yourself think. It's not quite as aggressive, and I think having the exhaust at the back certainly helps, because I think that was another thing with the 310R. You had the exhaust here and it is just a little bit much really at times, whereas this is, yeah, it's more livable. And it's you know, every bit as enjoyable. It's you know, more enjoyable. It's fantastic. I've sort of started to fall in love with this car a little bit. At first I was outright intimidated by it, and I was getting annoyed by the throttle response and modulating that and all that sort of stuff. But now you get used to it. It is really good, and you do need to drive this car properly. You need to engine brake, because the brakes, they're not amazing. So you need to work through the gears. It encourages a bit of heel and towing as well, and all that sort of thing when you're pushing on a little bit. And it really is, yeah, it's fantastic. You know what you're getting with a Caterham, and that's what I really like about them. They are what they are, unapologetically so as well. There's no airs or graces. There's no cruise control or any of that business. No airbags, and it's just very different to what you'd get, you know, in today's modern cars. And this car remains unchanged from when Colin Chapman conceived them back in the 60s. You know, it really is. So I have to slow down quite a lot here because I didn't think there were speed bumps down this road, but they've just put some new ones in. But like I say, thankfully this handles them quite well. But there are rather a lot of them. Get over there, thank you. Yeah, I'm sort of running out of things to say really. There aren't really any negatives. I mean, obviously it's not very practical. Obviously it's not all that comfortable. But you're not really buying this expecting it to be any of those things. You know, if you are, well, you know, you're an idiot. This is a very pure, authentic driving experience. No driver aids, no traction control, no help, no assistance, no nothing. It's just you in the car, and it's just nice being this open. You can see the wheels out in front of you bobbing away, and you can place this car so precisely, and it does pick up rather well. You join me as I miss a gear, obviously. But you can just have so much fun in this car, and obviously you'd want to go out and do track days in it. I mean, it makes sense on a nice open road on a nice evening like this. And like I said, if you've got one of these, you want one of these, it's just not going to disappoint in any way, shape or form. It is absolutely superb, and yeah, in the right setting it just makes sense. Like I said, if you owned one, you would just be using it in the right setting and you would just enjoy it all the time. We'll have one more listen. It's just, yeah, it's fantastic. I've been really looking forward to this. It was, I remember when the RV500s came out years ago, the super fast, super light one they did, and there'd always been an itch I wanted to scratch to know what it'd be like to drive on those super fast kit cars. And the biggest compliment I could pay it is that this car has absolutely not disappointed. I love it.